Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the show. This is the Golden Hour. Hashtag Umnanzik Basekai. It's good to be home, right? We are anticipating a brand new month because with a new month comes a lot of opportunities and a lot of fresh beginnings. So as we are anticipating May, we hope that everyone is alive and kicking, especially because the winter season is within us, guys. And a lot of people around me have been, suffering from flu. So we hope that everyone gets their flu shot if you need to, and you can get your home remedies such as your ginger teas and your honey and your med lemon so that you prepare yourself for the winter season. Welcome to the show. Hashtag Umnanzik Basekai. It's good to be home. My name is Namalungelo Jele, and it's a Health Tuesday today. On a Health Tuesday, we touch base on health issues. So today in particular on the Golden Hour, we are looking at immunization and vaccines, right? So basically this is what is going on in the country or happening. There's a current enrollment of vaccines and immunization, especially because in Kulmange winter season, right? So part of preparing yourself is also to get a vaccine, or we should call it a flu shot. And of course today we'll be talking about sexual assault, and of course just learning what it is and how to respond if you feel like you were violated in any way, especially when it comes to sexual assault, because we've been seeing a lot of sexual assault issues arise in the Kingdom of Eswatini and also internationally, especially against younger children. This is the Golden Hour, and of course we like to raise awareness on things that affect our communities, on things that affect individuals, and of course the globe at large. Welcome to the show. My beautiful co-host is here today. How are you?
I'm good too. How are you doing?
I'm great, thank you.
How was your weekend?
It was great. Weekend definitely.
Yeah.
Marco. There was a lot happening.
The garden party.
The garden party.
All of that.
I was just at home chilling. Where were you?
I was at home. Yeah, there was a function at home.
Yes.
So I was at home. So I had to.
Ask your mom.
But no, Penagaya Friday. I was at Toshana Lang.
Yeah, was Peggy.
Exactly. So yeah, otherwise I had a fantastic weekend.
That's great.
Fantastic. So good evening everyone. September ni pilile sene mugale hleli Golden Hour. Hashtag Umnanzika. It is good to be home. It's a Health Tuesday. Bakhona ke bonesibethu ehlelweni njengenhlala yendanga lesibili esiyathanda ukuthi sinihlomise in all things health. Namhla ke siyakhuluma sochazile ke thile ukuthi sikhulumisa indaba immunization. Lemqoka kakhulu bengikhuluma nje over the weekend nalomnye sesami ngikhuluma esibhedlela kune language yakhona. Ngeke nje esibhedlela uve bathi umfana ayuna 1 year 2 months uva abo 18 months bese sengiba confused ke mina. That's the language yesibhedlela. Lapho ke nesinamtshela ukuthi umfana una 28 months uyati nesi ukuthi ke une BCG banibani lekufuna ukuthi umfana ayijove kuze ukuthi agomele mhlambe tifo letifana nabo measles naletinye tifo mhlambe leti affecta bona bantwana ekukhuleni kwabo. So we talk about that and so much more. And of course inyanga ya April sikhulumile nayiqala ukuthi inyanga ya Sexual Assault Awareness and Prevention Month. Siyakhuluma ke we're touching on such an important topics lesibonene labanye social media benda imikhankaso lemqoka lemkhulu nalemqoka kakhulu during the special month sikhuluma nabo bantu labahlukubetekile mhlambe ngadlela thide nabo labahlala nabahlukubetekile, because one or the other you are affected directly or indirectly. So we touch on that today at Golden Hour. And of course before we get into the main content, the gist of what the show is about today, Mr. Buka ukuthi umhlaba wonke uthi namhla lilanga lelithini sigubha ini namhla emhlabeni wonke njengoba 29 ku-April inyanga April sevele ngiphelile kutinto lebhlungu uthile nje ukuthi wati ukuthi kusasa ngo-April Fool. April kusasa uyati ukuthi ama pranks lapha nalapha, so at least I'm done
and
with
April was quick.
Yeah,
April was
really quick. Ngibone nje lenye video on TikTok, some TikToker was like, December, I hope you're taking tips
from April.
You saw how April did it.
Yeah.
So December you better be take tips from how April ran. So siyaphela ke April September ukuthi kunekule nikufunzile kakhulu ehleni Golden Hour on Health Tuesday, Family Wednesday, and a Trending Thursday. But today is what is called International Noise Awareness Day, right? There's so many types of pollution. Pollution lekhona mhlambe singayinaki kakhulu, especially young people. Wake wathi bhuti wami ngalenye ilanga ngikhuda athi nginemkhuba ukuthi ngihambe ngiye living room ngiyovula iTV.
Yes.
Ngithi ngiyayibukela, ngivula iradio. bese sengiyahamba ngekamelweni ngiqhafatha licingo lami, you know.
Yes.
He found that so weird.
Yeah.
But nebengu enjoy because then it's fun, it's selective attention.
Yeah.
You know, ngendlela ukuthi nangiva ngathi nyalo sengifuna ukulalela ukuthi hawu eredweni sebathi ngenyanga indlebe yami seyiseredweni. TV liso lami salik TV on my phone sekune video lengibonako le interesting as I scroll through the internet or social media. So yeah, namhla sivikela indlebe tethu i-noise pollution ngathini ihlobo le pollution umsindvo longadzingeki lesingawunaki kakhulu in our daily lives.
They can't dance, they can miss a step or two, but we're encouraging you guys to also, you know, sign up your kids for, you know, dance lessons, sign up, you know, your sons for ballet, because I've seen, you know, a lot of, you know, young girls on Velile's ballet classes, but I haven't seen much of young men, right? I think it's something different to try out, and it doesn't mean that ballet should be male dominated. So that's what we're looking at today and celebrating. So yeah, enjoy dance and, you know, celebrate it and sign up for your dance classes.
Yes, it's International Dance Day, right? So dance. That's every move is a dance.
Every move is a dance, guys. Even your head moving is a dance.
Anything, you know, that's how dance styles are created or innovated, you know. So make sure that you celebrate, you know, this day, you know, in a special way that you can. And of course, check out TikTok for the latest dance challenges. There's so many of them inspired by, you know, maybe some of the latest songs that are out there. So yeah, with that said, I'll take a short break. Nasibuya sinesivakashi sethu sekuqala ehlelweni Golden Hour.
This is my first time here.
Hopefully it's my last.
My dear friends, here we are, all in our true colors. Your transfer papers, your key to the Mvule Kingdom.
Hi, I'm
Lisa, I know.
Here are your clippers. Clippers.
Who's in? We are prefects. We run this place. So let's act like it.
Solomon, the head prefect. Quick, is my collar straight?
We'll be out of Mvule High before you can pronounce the word scholarship.
We have a mystery to solve. The only way we can make a difference is if we stick together.
When I'm head prefect, each and every student will have a voice.
We need to show that new squeak the Mvule.
I hate this school!
Eswatini TV has signed a code of conduct that is enforced by the Eswatini Communications Commission. We are committed to reporting news that is accurate, comment that is fair, and programming that does not amount to hate speech or the description of gratuitous violence or explicit sex. For any complaints of our programming, please contact us on 2411-9600 or email info@eswatinitv.co.za. You can also contact the Eswatini Communications Commission on 2406-7000 or write a letter to ECCOM on PO Box 7811 Mbabane. Email address is info@ecom.org.za.
Kude lesinye isikhathi ngaphandle kwalesi.
Aba research bafunze.
Being risky means ukuthi nalokuwa kwayo kulula.
Nathi kufuna sente ukukhiqiza lokusebenzisa.
Sinemogele babukeli behlelo iGolden Hour bukeli Eswatini TV on a Health Tuesday hlelo iGolden Hour #mnanzekhaya. It is good to be home on a Health Tuesday. Sifuna ukukhuluma ngendaba lemcoka kakhulu indzaba ye kuvaccinate neku immunize. Mhlambe this is a popular, you know, ngathini way of life for, you know, umuntu loti nakako loti tsandzako lowatiko ukuthi nangabe kuta sifo tifo lesikhulu noma mhlambe kuta eligciwane lelikhulu COVID-19 Ebola you name it you need to follow the ngathini procedure letawukhishwa mhlambe Ministry of Health ukuthi kufuna ujove kangaka ngalatikhathi nati kuze kuthi uphephe kulelo gciwane noma leso sifo leso lesibedvukile with kids ke bagcizelela kakhulu betempilo indzaba ye immunization kugoma ke lokhu from birth but namhla ngeke ngize ngichaze kahle ngoba sina Thuli Magagula lobuya Ministry of Health immunization officer tasichazela kabanti nge-vaccination and immunization evenda kangwane ukuthi kwi-culture yethu yini ukuthi simaswati sivakashele umtholampilo sijove simixe nawo bantwana bajove leyo mjovo lekufanele ukuthi bayijove ngalesi sikhathi labasibekako especially kulolikhadi lekudalwa kwaye umfana. Thuli, good evening, welcome to the show. Kunjani?
Ngiyabonga nokuphila.
Thank you so much.
Ngiyaphila ngibavusele nibabukele emakhaya.
Yes. Thuli siyabonga kakhulu ukuthi nendawo umsebenzi lomuhle evenda kangwane niyabambisana nayo i-World Health Organization Eswatini ne-Ministry of Health ukuthi nihambise lwati nende i-decentralization of information, dissemination of information nifike nasetindzaweni lapho mhlambe khona bantu bangakhona kufinyelela emadolobheni la mhlambe lisito lushakutela lutfolakala khona what is the need wekuthi ne-Ministry of Health nihambise umkhankaso lomkhulu kangaka we-vaccination and immunization evenda kangwane?
Kumcuka kakhulu ukuthi silitiko letempilo sihambise le information about immunization kumcoka bekuvikeliswa kwebamvana eveni because if singabavikelisi labamvana kunetifo leti bese setiya bedvuka ukhanje ukuthi asisakhona ukuthi controller lesinye isikhathi leto tifo leto tigcina tibabulala abamvana sifo nje lesiba inkinga kakhulu ngiyo yona lencubulunjwana because i-virus
yini
measles rubella esehamba
nerubella okay
naso ke sifo leso lesingoti kakhulu so vele silitiko kumcuka ukuthi emaswati siwagcugcutele ukuthi akachubeke asilethele abantwana emitfolampilo yethu batovikela kuze kungatokwanza letifo letivikelekako kanti tingoti
sitawungena kule tifo nekuthi ngitiphi leti common mhlambe kubo bantwana evenda kangwane bring it closer to home so ninetimi yenu ke yadonyaka umkhankaso wenu sohambe isikhathi eside but ninetimi yenu let's immunization for all as humanly possible ikhulumisa in le team le
le team yethu isho ukuthi kuvikela noma ngangibani angavikela which is humanly possible yes immunization for all is humanly possible
nanoma ngangibani angavikela
yes noma ngabe ngibani angavikela umncane umdzala because sinawo ema-vaccines ebantfana sinawo ema-vaccines ebantfu labadzala besivele sinayo le mjovo ebantfu labadzala like i-yellow fever nje ijova abantu labadzala labaya kulamave la infested ngayo yona le yellow fever sine-hepatitis B lo wasibinja ujova laba exposed laba sebenta nengadi those are health workers laba se laboratory bese sengu ma-security forces ethu like emaphoyisa emasotsha base-correctional ma-paramedics ethu lokwentekako nje adile ngengadi so uyayijova leyo vaccine leyo yebantfu labadzala for now phindze futhi njalo nabomake labatethwele nabo bakhulile phela nasotethwala nje sothi sokhulile kusho ukuthi nabo besibajova lo mjovo wekuvikela mhlatsi ingcibi kubamvana nale diphtheria
kula la kubantwana ke sitaqala la kulabamvana ukuthi kangwane which are some of the infections mhlambe tifo also letikhona affecta bona abantwana ngesizathu sekuthi abamikiswa esibhedlela kuyogoma ngesikhathi lesibekiwe nguyenesi.
All right, tifo letingtona tisihlasele labamfana kakhulu i-pneumonia bese sekubangile rota lesifo semsheko lo msheko lobangwa i-rotavirus so nguletinye tifo tawo kanti vele cishe tonke nje letifo lesitimi lesitivikelako labajovisa kithu tingoti kude lengathi lesi singcono lesi sinjani tiyafana na tonke because tiyabulala umfana nje nazathola pneumonia ingambulala nakathola incubulunjwane ingambulala nakathola ikwehle tonke letifo nje tingoti angikhulumi ke bovendle bopolio polio ke bona babanga
sakhona ipolio
ikhona asesekhona emavela emhlabeni lanayo like Afghanistan na Pakistan asese infested with le white polio virus ke wona so lokusho ukuthi siyathi ukuthi nyalo sekwabalula khamba sinawo mose eMapakistan la kangwane so u may never know ukuthi nakasuka ekhaya akasuki nayo le infection uyabo hayi ukuthi kumbe sabexwaye but nje lokuthi simave sibantu sesiyakhona lokuhamba kakhulu uyabo kulula nje ukuthi nyalo ngasuka nyalo ukuthi kushona ilanga la kusasa ngibe sengise India uyabo le mfundini so ngiko ke sithi asivikeleni ukuthi noma ngabe sekuyenteka kuchamuka lochamuka kuphi ukuchamuka naso lesifo nasifika la kithi kangwane ukhanze ukuthi bantu bethu le head immunity yabo isetulu uyabo bavikelekile kwakhekele protection uyabo kufana nokuthi sibabele la sibabele khona nasofika lo mlilo nomunye amandla wangifika ulotha na kithi nasibajoviselela abamfana kungenteka incubulunjani ichamuke maybe ichamuke eSouth Africa ngiyabekisa because vele eGauteng ikhona kuna outbreak but nayifike la kithi khanza sibantu abethu bavikele kahle itofike nje ife nje tiphelele uyabo
speaking of le ncubulunjwane le betfuke South Africa KZN you know sibene few cases of hand foot and mouth disease evendakangwane as an immunization officer you know how do you deal with that?
All right, kuthi nje si promote because we are integrating si promote tindzaba taka wash kusikumcoka kugeza tandla ihygiene imcoka for all lama infections nje la khona if sichubeka bengicabanga ukuthi siba sathi sizochubeka because
siwashe phela tandla
COVID yasifundisa ukuthi asiwashe tandla ngemandi nangesifo la geletako because lokuwasha le tandla kukhatha le cycle ema infections lamaningi ngakuthinta ngikutfole but nangitogeza tandla ngakade ithinzi mina sengikhathile leyo
cycle and speaking also of COVID-19 mhlambe le esifundisile different health practices lokufaka khathi lokugeza tandla and lokuchelelana keeping you know physical social distance you know what is the response rate you know ba responda njani bantu ekumkhankaso wenu we immunization vaccination and immunization for both young and old you know people evendakangwane njengoba iCovid-19 seyisifundisile ke
yes isifundisile bayaresponda emaswata kithi siyabonga kakhulu bayasilethela futhi bamfana yabona ke bamfana babaletha shem kuba inkinga nje nasekumele kujove bona
labadzala
angathi usilenkinga siyesa
but ngesikujuma lwimi nje I like the theme lokuthi immunization for all is humanly possible so ukuthi nami angihambe ngesibhedlela ngiyohlola ukuthi kude any trace of any infection or disease ngijove noma ngivikele ingafiki you know bosachubeke ephuzweni lakho le COVID-19 lesifundiselo kunene
yes isifundisile but nje sibonile lokuthi bayakhona kubaletha abamfana because kukulula kumcinzetelo umfana but nase kumele kujove bona hayi abasada kithi bese ayasisimba but nje singawa encourage lokuthi ivaccine lele ethwako litiko letempilo olive because vele soke kulive letseka imjovo yethu lemningi sithengelwa live thina kude ema donations ngala ngasemjoveni live liyayithenga lemijovo siyabonga kakhulu kuhulumende wakangwane kusisupport kulelo hlangothi lelo so isuke iphephile lemijovo yethu mina nje ngabakhuthatha ukuthi abede lokusaba lobhlungu besikhashana because vele nanguhlabile vele lotshwa utawusala le pain kube bovana yabo but it will go away the benefit yalo kujova inkulu yenza le benefit I mean yenza lobhlungu
la kuqaleni kuphela so now speaking of abantu labadzala ke mhlambe yile kufuna siyicaphele thina sibadzala sesaba ke sibhedlela mhlambe kathe ngagcina nalokujova angisawathi nalomjovo ukuthi ngathi ukuthi ubhlungu nje but ukwenza umjovo phela uba nami nje for just a few seconds and it's gone you know but you know ngitipta letifo lekufuna sicaphele mhlambe letis affecta kakhulu if we don't get vaccinated or immunized
njoba ngishilo ukuthi ngicishe ngitotonke but nje kakhulu lekungona kusihlasele kakhulu nguyena lo Vendle because Vendle
Nakithi
Le polio,
sibadzala.
yes,
Okay.
affect bantwana phela nase sesithiwa nje sekune outbreak now sithi lesibadzala yes affect and lesibadzala ke I affect le respiratory system
Okay.
lokusho ukuthi le ndlala esiphefumula ngayo
Angisakhoni ukuphefumula
uyabona ukuthi ke thina bese vele sesisheshe siyahamba
Yes.
emhlabeni kanti kubantwana kuba lama limbs shooting lama upper extremities in the lower extremities ukhanza sekufinyela umkhono okufinyele inyawo but leyo paralysis leyo ke ayisasi irreversible so uqalile lo mfana loyo so ngiko ke kusithi labamfa bethu abahlale bajovile because ngekujova kwabo kahle kusisita thina lokuthi no ngoba I mean kusisita lokuthi ngekuthi bona bavikele kahle le tifo noma tifika ngeke thina labadzala sititfola because nabangakajovi kahle labantwana tifo dingafika ngabo ukhanze ukuthi nathi sesiyasimama thina labadzala.
Okay, sineligoli la 2030, you know, how far are we as a country, you know, in terms of maybe some of the strides or maybe, you know, campaigns njengalawa lenwendako, you know, latawusita kakhulu ukuthi si hit our target kushaya umnyaka 2030 sibe sesati sibadzala sibancane ukuthi kumele ukuthi siyogoma kumele ukuthi siyovikela sijove sivikele, you know, from any, you know, kind of outbreak or, you know, pandemic lengahle ivele.
Ku immunization agenda 2030 silive ngathi sesihambile umgamo lomude but sisesenayo isayeya leningi lekuthi sithole labantwana because I coverage yethu silive ayikafiki ku 90% or 95% lokusho kona ukuthi bakhona abantwana lesithi bo zero dose children bantwana labangakavikeli sanhlobo noma labayitholile lwekucala umjovo bangasachubeki basinyamalalela so silive kufuna siyobafuna labo bantwana labo kufuna sicale sende nalocwaningo ngokuthi vele mbambamba bakuphi sibabuke lokuthi bakutiphi tindzawo so ngasho ukuthi kulo lokushiwo immunization agenda as far as nabo HPV vaccine because iyasho ukuthi by 2030 kufuna sesijove 90% of our girls.
Oh nice.
9 to 14 years but kwanyalo we are at 74%. Uyabona lokuthi
zaman pushani man, which is why you need platforms like this to
promote
spread the word.
To promote immunization, to promote the benefits of immunization because if labantu bethu sibavikela 10 years down the line le cervical cancer lesihlupha kangaka itobe senciphile eveni.
That's the HPV vaccine, right?
Yes, that's the HPV vaccine.
So umlayeto wakho mhlambe wekugcina sesephetha uthini emaswatini nekuthi yini lenifike nikusho lengaphandle nanihambile niyofundzisa labadzala labancane about the importance of immunization.
Ngingacudela nje ukuthi imijovo yethu iphephile iyacwanuka mhlawumhlangene akawulethi umjovo even ungakacwaniwe ungakabuka ukuthi vele ulungele ukuthi songane kwabantu so ngingabagcugcutela ukuthi imijovo yethu iphephile abede emitfolampilo basivakashele sinayo yona le campaign le African Vaccination Week commemoration next week nje kuletindzawo leti kunetindzawo la kangwani le kungahambeki le kungahambeki nje emganda nje ngalomnyaka uwela imifula le ngu7 ngemoto ibihamba lamandini yabo kuletindzawo nje leti remote
helicopter yabona
kakhulu so sitawuhamba ke siye kito asigcini ke lapho emaswati akithi akachubeke ayisebenzisa imtholampilo yethu ikhona ihlala ivulile iyasebenza ababalethe but kwanyalo kule mkhankaso lesiko next week sidabe sihambela nje letindzawo vele leti lesithi hard to reach areas letingakhona letikhashane nemtholampilo but ke lokujova imitholampilo yethu ihlala ikhona imijovo ihlala ikhona emitholampilo yethu noma ngabe kwentekile wakhanza ukuthi lo utela ukhona muhla phinza phela ubuye uyohlola sisimemethele ukuthi seyikhona nabe kwentekile nje wasiphelela ngaleyo ndlela ngoba phakathi into vele dinako ukuthi ukhanze ukuthi lela sithenga khona because angithi asiwakhe ama vaccines la kangwani thina kufuna siwa order ukhanze ukuthi kunale doti ngicabele I mean le doti ngingana bese bathi seyafika nalokuthi lesensikhathi emaswati akithi ukhanze ukuthi kuphele lo mfana nami lona 9 months but lona walona lona 6 weeks ukhona umjovo bese bathi hayi kude imijovo
Oh bese bathi kude.
ngani vele ufuna sive ngabonesi
Okay.
yabo
Okay. Okay.
But nje nkosami kwagcugcutele eMaswatithi asichubekeni sitivikele nangabe kuthiwa naku njengoba sinyalo nje kunale HPV vaccine bantfa bethu asibagcugcutele ukuthi bayijove futhi kungenteka litiko likhanze ukuthi le age liyayingeda ukhanze ukuthi sesijova lo 15 to 20 years but minister wethu faka health utawusho ukuthi singedanini
okay.
Yes utakumemetela ukuthi singedanini
Yeah.
noma sengetiwe ngiyawagcugcutela nabo ukuthi asichubeke sijove
Yeah. Nini toll free number.
Toll free number
Need. Set the toll free number. Sine siyakuthaza into mahala so nakungaba ne toll free number nje sinabo shaya sibude somfana muna 18 weeks ngenda njani nasenje so kungasida yabo ukuthi nangabhombombo wami ngikhone kushaya ngishaya i toll free number.
Sikukhona lokukhona sekuthi sengakusabalalisi imitfolampilo yonke with the help of tinintetfu tenkosi chai kukhona ihlelo la ka prompts lapho khona lo make naka enroll kulolo hlelo lelo uyakhona kubuda but nje ke nkosami nahulumende wethu uyazama ngalo hlelo lethu la CMIS nakhona lapho sitagcina sesifikile siya improve technology
kancane right but akafika 2030 so don't improve right Tuli thank you so much for joining us today siyabonga kakhulu sethemba ukuthi ndawuphinze nibuye ehlelweni throughout the year 2025 nje niqhubeni sikhumbude sigcizelele sikhiphe ama hashtags lamasha nangaba khona ukuthi esithini esifundzisa sibhekaphi esiveni seMaswati
ngikangahambi nje ngosami kusho nje ukuthi bekumele si-commemorate le AVW kusasa elibuleni but kunemisebenzi yelive leminye lekhona lethinza yona umflomzala welive so kube sesekuyakhanselwa anguvete nje eMaswatini ngosami laselibuleni ukuthi awusekho kusasa lo msebenzi bangasavukeli kusasa sitabatshela ukuthi unini
ndawo memetela
sitaphenze simemetele ukuthi sayinini
okay
ngiyabonga kakhulu
thank you so much Tuli thank you so much for joining us today sibonga kakhulu nebaka WHO Eswatini ukuthi banilethe namhlalana ukuthi sitofunza simaswati ngekuvaccinate nekummunize others ukugoma ke lwimi leSwati kwabo bantwana so that is what we're talking about today na Tuli lo immunization officer at the Ministry of Health sibonga kakhulu ukubambisana kwabo kakhulu the World Health Organization Eswatini ukuthi njalo basilethele the latest information the latest kind of information that we need to know and learn especially on the golden hour and isethemba kakhulu ukuthi not only WHO Eswatini kuphela but naletinye inhlangothi tahulumende or Ministry of Health elikhona evenda kangwane tafunza from projects like Luvelo project lapho khona sesine drone technology that is able to take medication or whatever form of prescription closer or nearer to where the patient is. So that's it for our first conversation today on the golden hour. Stamite mate nasibuya siyachubeka nalo hlelo.
Welcome to Eswatini Lifestyle. This is your ultimate guide to the entertainment, to the lifestyle and the culture of Eswatini.
Eswatini Lifestyle.
Eswatini Lifestyle.
Eswatini Lifestyle.
From 6:30 to 7 p.m.
On Eswatini TV, Sibuko Semaswati.
On Eswatini TV, Sibuko Semaswati.
Dive into a thriving and diverse art scene. Simply follow our hosts in Artsy Africa.
Come with me.
6 African cities, so many voices. What attracted me was the large canvas for expression. These artists are reshaping how we see contemporary art. Artsy Africa.
Have a look.
The vibrant series on DW.
This is my first time here.
Hopefully it's my last.
My dear friends, Here we are, all in our true colors.
Your transfer papers, your key to the Mvule kingdom.
Hi, I'm Lisa. I know.
Here are your clippers. Clippers.
Hussein, we are prefects. We run this place. So let's act like it.
Solomon, the head prefect, quick. Is my collar straight?
You'll be out of Mvule High before you can pronounce the word scholarship.
We have a mystery to solve. The only way we can make a difference is if we stick together.
When I'm head prefect, each and every student will have a voice.
You need to show that new squeak Mvule.
I hate this school!
Welcome back to the show, ladies and gentlemen. It's a Health Tuesday, and the best way we do a Health Tuesday on the show is to talk about health issues. So we know that the month of April is Sexual Assault Awareness Month. So today we have Cindy Sopembe, who's a psychiatric psychologist, and she's going to be talking to us about issues of sexual assault so we can be better able to define it and, of course, to understand the complications and the short-term and long-term effects of sexual assault and the steps that we need to take when you have been sexually assaulted, so that you can help someone else who has suffered the same, right? But it's not just about victims as well. It's about, you know, coming together, knowing what it is, and also providing the support as families and as communities. Hello, Pembe Unjani.
Yeah,
It's good to have you back on the show.
Yes, I need a hug.
You need a hug. I'm going to give you a hug. Anyway, today we're talking about sexual assault. So can we define it, you know, because I feel like there's different forms to it, and, you know, maybe a touch can be, you know, classified under sexual assault. So can you explain that to us?
Okay, so basically when we're talking about sexual assault, you know, sexual assault is when somebody performs or does or sexually violates another person without their consent.
Yeah.
So the major thing is the consent here, that this person did not agree to this activity or did not agree to whatever form or whatever that happened between these two people.
Okay, so the key word is consent.
Yes, the key word is consent.
I must consent too.
Yes.
Okay. And of course, we know that when it comes to sexual assault, I feel like the best people that help, you know, our police services and also health practitioners. So can we talk about instances whereby, you know, you have sexual assault cases as health practitioners? Can we talk about your role? How do you assist someone who's been in that position?
Okay. So when it comes to a role for Ministry of Health or the hospitals or clinics, whenever we receive a client, first and foremost, we need to treat that client, you know, as an individual, respect their dignity because they've already been violated in that. So we help in terms of maybe doing MR tests. So immediately we do tests if the history there's been a sexual assault. Sorry, we start with the history taking, you know. We start with the history taking, you know, the story behind everything so that we see what can we test for.
Okay.
So you can find that maybe you need to test for HIV, immediately test for STIs, also test for pregnancy if there's no pregnancy or if there was pregnancy before the assault, right? So after that, we then treat any injuries that are there. We take care of the person, treat injuries, and then we also offer what is called EPEP or prophylaxis.
Okay.
This is like preventing any diseases or injuries, So PEP that we offer, we can offer PEP in terms of for HIV, protecting that person too, because we do not know, possibly you don't know the status of the person, or you know the status of the person, you know. So if you're found HIV negative, then you'll be offered a prophylaxis to prevent HIV. We also offer PEP for STIs, which are sexually transmitted infections. We also offer PEP or to prevent pregnancy. If we tested and we found that you're not pregnant, we're going to offer EMA contraceptives, emergency contraceptives, contraceptives that are going to prevent emergency. Then we also offer what is called psychological first aid.
Yes.
Here, this now is now taking care of your thinking, your mind, and your emotions. So all of that, we are doing it at least within 72 hours.
Yes.
We would love to do it immediately because it's
Yeah.
most effective,
Yeah.
but we can open it up to 72 hours. So we offer all of that. And then, of course, we continue going with you. We offer you counseling, ongoing counseling.
Yes.
And when you're going courts, if you are reporting it and all
Yes.
of that, we're still there giving you feedback. You come back, how are you faring on the medication that we gave you, and the counseling as it continues.
Okay, well said. And of course, I understand that given your experience and understanding the nature of sexual assaults, there may be complications, negative effects of it. Can you talk to me about some of those cases?
All right. So complications of sexual assault. First, it also depends on maybe how violent was it. You
Yes.
know, if it was really violent, you find that there are those physical complications, especially if there was an injury. You know, so you can expect something like that. And if maybe we were not able to offer PEP on time, you find that there's a pregnancy. Now, it's not easy carrying
Yeah.
a child
Yes.
that you did not consent for, and you conceived in a very aggressive manner, you know. So all that is going to cause problems. And then, of course, mentally, we are going to be seeing people struggling with a condition called post-traumatic stress disorder. So this condition is something tragic happened to you, and as time goes on, maybe after about 2 months, about 6 weeks, now you keep having flashbacks. It's like you can see the person, it's like you can smell the person, and you find yourself avoiding wherever it happened. You don't want to go to that place, maybe even avoiding certain colors. Let's say this person was wearing a green t-shirt.
Yes.
Now you're avoiding anything that is green.
Okay.
So we're seeing avoidance lapho.
Yeah.
Of course, there'll be constant fear and worry and hypersensitivity, like a pen would fall.
Yes.
Don't jump up.
Yeah.
There's that startling of everything. So all that are symptoms now of a post-traumatic stress disorder. Obviously, they'll be crying, there'll be lack of trust.
Yes.
There'll be lack of trust because they've been violated without their consent, right? So most of the time, that is what we deal with. And the long-term one, it's mostly the PTSD. And of course, depression where they feel like they don't want to associate themselves with people, they're isolating themselves. Again, there's also the crying. So with both, and they're sad. Always sad, and of course, net depression, we're seeing it. You see those symptoms like 2 weeks maybe after the incident, and if this person is showing all those symptoms, you can tell that this person has a depression. So with all both the conditions that I'm talking about, the post-traumatic stress disorder and the depression, you find that a person may now have thoughts of then ending their lives, because they feel like they're carrying so much, they don't know what to do and how to get out of this situation. Especially, can you imagine having flashbacks? Flashbacks, it's a picture that comes back, and it's like you're reliving, the incident. So it just becomes so heavy. So you find people having suicidal ideations, and others get to an extent where they are now attempting to commit suicide. Of course, others, unfortunately, you find that they complete the suicide, which are the saddest complication that can be there.
Yeah. And speaking about, all of these things, the PTSD and of course, the depression, how can, because it doesn't end just like with health practitioners, it also has to do with, the support at home. How can the families step in? How can, the closest people, be it friends and family, how can they support someone who's been a victim of sexual assault? Okay.
So firstly, what happens is that at first when somebody talks about being violated, the first thing that we do is judge.
Yes.
Where were you? Didn't you ask for it? Were you not drunk? Were you not walking in a, in a place that is
dressed appropriately?
How were you dressed?
Yes.
Do you know?
Yeah.
So those are elements of being judged, you know. So if we can ease up on the judgment, as family members, because family members are the strong support system that we can have, of course, and friends, because sometimes you don't, you know, family
Yes.
is not your blood, and friends, you know. So it's more on the easing on the judgment and believing that person. It's very important that if you're talking about something like that, particularly if you've been violated, you need somebody to believe you.
Yes.
So if you can believe them and then ask, how can we assist you in your journey?
Yes.
Because I can bring bafundisi, I can bring whatnot. Ganzi, that's not what I need for now. So your presence, just listening to what they're saying and just being there, you know, that's how they can support. If they have maybe appointments in the hospital and whatnot, you can ask, can I remember, I have been violated without my consent.
Yes.
Moving forward, let's be sensitive about the consent. Let's be sensitive about the consent, because also it's quite embarrassing, you know, to be violated. There's also this thing called self-stigma. So a person will feel a particular way about it, and then if you push support, push the love, when they're not ready, it will not be received in the way that you are offering it. But if we have a conversation about it, this is how I can help you. Are you okay with it?
That,
and I'd be like, yeah, I think that would help. And then you continue with it, you know, because it's easy to go, I've been offering all this, okay, you know, you don't want my help with the tibona, you know, you did not ask, you know, you did not ask. I'm not the nomalungelo that I was before the violation, you know, so.
And of course, I feel like sometimes people are put in a position whereby they are scared to report it for whatever reason. But I'm sure we've outgrown the culture because most of the time back in the day that was what used to happen. So can you talk to me about the steps that one should follow in terms of like reporting, in terms of like what to do, like, because I know definitely that some of it has to do with like not taking a bath if you have been sexually assaulted. Can you speak to me about those things?
All right, so with the reporting, it basically depends on which service area did you get to first.
Okay.
So if you get to the police station, for instance, they have their package, their services in terms of how they can help you, you know, in terms of writing a statement, also asking what happened and whatnot, they have their package. So if you get to the hospital first, we also do a thorough history taking as well. Take swabs, make sure that we are documenting everything that we are seeing, hearing, and what you are saying. And what you say, we take it according to what you said. We do not interpret it for you because it is your story. So we take your story. So everything that we take, it's more like, it's called a forensic evidence, you know, when it gets to the courts and the police are asking for it. But otherwise, when it's this side in terms of health, we are just doing our job in that we take the history, as we said, if there are any injuries, we're noting where are they, how deep are they, how long, you know, and everything. And if they are swabs, let's say you say the person never, let's say it was a penetration from a male and the person never used maybe protection, we'll do swabs to collect, you know, specimen, any other, if you were licked, you know, we'll also take specimen also from there. So it's more of something that will help you that when you decide to report and open a case, then all that is going to be used, because we also need to be cognizant and respectful of your decision. Do I want to report this, or I just want help from the health sector, and that's it? When I'm ready, I'll come back and report it or a case.
Definitely, because it is a delicate matter. And obviously, when we're speaking sexual assault, I think a lot of people just know that it's prevalent when it comes to, you know, females. Now, can we talk about some of the misconceptions when it comes to sexual assault with men as well? Why are there barriers, you know, to them even reporting about it in the first place? And also, do we have any cases locally, you know, of men being sexually assaulted?
So the beautiful thing is that in our country we have the Sexual Offences and Domestic Violence of 2018, which clearly stipulates that sexual assault is any sexual violation to a person without their consent, be it a man to a woman, a woman to a man, a man to a man,
yes,
a woman to a woman, you know.
Yes.
It clearly stipulates, which means men are also protected there.
Yes.
Which means they can also report, they can also be violated.
Okay.
So men can also be violated. So yes, there are cases that are there, and yes, unfortunately for males, because of that masculinity, that I need to protect myself, you know, if something happens in terms of violation, it's not easy to go and report that. But as we go around with all the relevant sectors that are looking into sexual assault, that are looking into inhlalakahle, welfare of people, as we're going around capacitating people, teaching organizations that are helping people to be friendly, to be welcoming, we are seeing men standing up and coming to report. And cases are actually increasing that are people coming forth to report, because it's not only about reporting, remember. You report and then we offer the help to then help you process everything, and you are able to then cope.
Yes, definitely. Thank you so much for being with us today on the show. Things that are very, very touching, and they can affect anyone. So thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you for having me.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is our beautiful guest on the show today, Cindy Sobembe, talking to us about sexual assault. So if anything happens to you without your consent sexually, make sure that you report it, be it to the nearest police services or to the nearest clinic, right? Because we are trying to raise awareness about it, and at the end of the day, the end goal is to put a stop to it. So we hope that you listened to a thing or two that was being shared here. We'll be right back after the break.
Dive into a thriving and diverse art scene. Simply follow our hosts in Artsy Africa.
Come with me.
6 African cities, so many voices. What attracted me was the large canvas for expression. These artists are reshaping how we see contemporary art. Artsy Africa.
Have a look.
The vibrant series on DW.
Welcome to Eswatini Lifestyle. This is your ultimate guide to the entertainment, to the lifestyle and the culture of Eswatini.
Eswatini Lifestyle. Eswatini Lifestyle.
Eswatini Lifestyle.
From 6:30 to 7 p.m.
On Eswatini TV, Sibuko Semaswati.
On Eswatini TV, Sibuko Semaswati.
Kude lesinye isikhathi ngaphandle kwalesi.
Aba research bafunze.
Being risky means ukuthi nalokuwa kwayo kulula.
Nathi kufuna sente ukukhiqiza lokusembili.
Well, it's a wrap. It's time for us to wrap the show up on Hell Tuesday. But before we do that, there's a couple of stories that we would have loved to share with you today on the Golden Hour. Some big changes that are happening in other countries, in Africa especially, that maybe you could draw, inspiration, motivation from, or learn a thing or two from some of these countries. Siyathi ukuthi even Namibia banya female president in their history. Loenda ngathini ama moves la bold kakhulu, lokufaka ekhathi education even lase Namibia ukuthi from year 2026 bafunzi labatawuba kuma tertiary institutions batawukhona ukuthi bathole a free ngathini tertiary level education. So utakhona ukuthi apply enyuvesi uhamba ufunze mahala mhlambe kuyataba khona lawo ma terms and conditions that will apply, but it's great news actually, you know, nokuthi bakhona ke labanye labangaboni ngasolinya ngayo movie yakhe president, but ke asati nangabe uvele uhlose kuwenta lokhu kutawendeka with all the support from the Namibians, and of course sibonile live in South Africa try to, you know, and make those kinds of moves. Sabonile bafunzi, you know, getting into the streets, but you know, canvassing for such, you know, we would see a free education for all, especially in tertiary institutions, cognizant of the fact that MA fees are really high, you know. So yeah, hopefully, you know, nasla connecta figure, see how in a way, but hopefully, is coming up on nasis national we would see says tertiary education say free. For now, it's still primary.
Yes.
We're looking into getting into the secondary level, you know, nakona, but yeah, if resources allow, we can.
Definitely, guys. We are working, you know, maybe we can copy that and, you know, learn from them. But of course, if the resources allow, that means that we have to work hard as a country, you know, to attain that. So right about now, it's time for us to take a look at what happened today in history. So in 2012, Charles Taylor, who was the president of Liberia, was sentenced to 50 years for his role in the civil war in Sierra Leone, guys. And he was convicted of war crimes and crimes against humanity. That is him right there. What happened on your side?
Yes, in 2011, this day, today, marks 14 years of marriage for Prince William and Kate Middleton.
Oh,
La Middleton, right?
Okay.
So they got married in a very, you know, it
was a beautiful wedding.
Event.
I remember I watched.
Yeah, it was a grand ceremony at Westminster Abbey. You know, millions and millions of people across the world had to watch this particular wedding. So yeah, that's it. And we have birthdays. We have Candace Owens, you know, who turns 36 today.
All right, so ladies and gentlemen, we'll see you guys tomorrow on a Family Wednesday. We hope that you had a great time with us watching the show today, and we hope that you guys were informed.
Toodles.
Gentle care for baby, savings for you. Get Cuddlesome Value Pack wipes at $59.99 and Cuddlesome nappies for $129.99. Life's better with Pep.
Stay in and relax more with deals so big you won't leave your home. Get the Skyworth 55-inch UHD Google TV for only $7,499, save $2,000. Or this ProLine 14 Intel Core i5 laptop for only $7,499, save 3-3-litre metallic fridge freezer for only $7,999, save $700. Price is valid until 4 May 2025. T's and C's apply. Hi-Fi Corp, your #1 deal destination.
When you choose your adventures, you do so with an open heart and a desire for the unexpected. You embark on journeys to discover new worlds, full of wonder. You choose a path to awaken your senses, to feel the rush of life overwhelm you, a world to make you look up and realize just how inspiring this life can be. You ask, and we give you the royal experience. Arrive and awaken your heart. Explore life in ways only thought possible in your dreams. There are but a few places on Earth so special, so unique, and so spectacular, where it becomes the rite of passage for the ambitious travelers, the courageous souls, to all have the one and only royal experience. That day when you look deep into your heart and leap into an ancient world so very different from your own, where magic, beauty, and love are shared forever, then you will have a royal experience. is just one place on earth where the people make you feel a part of their kingdom, where you just might volunteer to awaken spirits, enrich minds, and work alongside communities to build, motivate, and inspire. This is truly the royal experience. When you dream of a different world, beyond the ordinary, beyond time, discover just how far